Hi, welcome to Touring Car. This is Rob, and we're going to take a look at the problem that I ran into recently. So, I apparently had a problem. I was on my way to drop off the kids in the morning, and the car started misfiring, and the misfiring got worse and worse. So I had to turn around, head back to the house. And by the time I got back to the house, there was this awful sulfur smell in the air, and it didn't sound very good either. So I parked the car, I left it for a few days, and I finally had a chance to troubleshoot it and figured out what the problem was. So let's take a look at what I found out and how I solved it. Alright, so as you can see, I've torn the engine apart to gain access to the coils, and that's what I figured out what the problem was one of the coils. So the error code that I was getting was the error code I was getting was A304, I believe, and it was on cylinder 4 at the time, so misfire on cylinder 4. And I will show you the laptop here in a little bit with the codes and stuff, so you can see what I was looking at to troubleshoot it. So basically the code was with this cylinder right here, which is number 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other side is 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I did is I took this coil out and I replaced this one with that one, swapped it with cylinder 3, and the problem went from here to cylinder 3. So at that point I knew it wasn't a spark plug, it wasn't an injector or anything like that. It was at that point the coil. So I went ahead, ordered a coil, and believe it or not, $34. It's not a fancy OEM one, but it will do. And to take these coils off, these are 10mm bolts on here. I had to remove the whole air intake system. It just had one plug to take off when I did it. This is for the the MAF sensor, mass airflow sensor. And of course there was a couple items that had to be disconnected to gain access to it. There was a plate that sits right here, kind of sits over the coil pack slightly, so that had to be removed, and those were just 10mm bolts on either of those. And then the air box was held on by a couple of clips here and there. This is a hose that goes into the air box as well, and it was just a matter of twisting it in the right direction, and it popped off. And then there was these two nuts right here, which are right over here. And with that, it was upside down, a T20 star kind of tool. I don't know if you can see that. And that's what I used to take it off. That was it. And here's the plate that I had to take off. That was covering the coil packs. Mosquito. And here's the different bits that I had to take off. And of course I had to take the engine covers off to gain access to it. So also it gives me an opportunity to just quickly note, I had to fix this here. Again, plastic hose right here. It actually runs off this coolant hose right here, and I had to put my own hose right here. This line was brittle, just like the line on the other side I was pointing out that caused the secondary pump error code. This was brittle too. I was taking the air box off to do something, and I bumped this and it cracked. So then what I did is it was actually right about here at the time, and I just took all the brittle pieces off until I got to a solid piece, which maybe about here, and I put a new hose in its place for now and clamped it down, and it hasn't leaked since. But I plan on seeing about getting a whole new line, so that way it goes from here, goes all the way across, and it'll be more solid and less chance to break. So this is an aftermarket filter. And the problem with it had a very thick rubber on the top, so it made the housing hard to clamp back down. And it looks like it might be a K&N, but I don't know. Nope. Air Aid is the brand, I think. Definitely not K&N. So it's dirty. I had meant to replace it, so I also went ahead and grabbed a cheap air filter and gonna put it in for now until I could find a better filter for it. But yeah, we're gonna throw this out for now. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the information on the laptop so I can see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the laptop so I can show you the problems that I saw on the laptop, and then we're gonna go ahead and dig into here and start replacing it. It's very simple to do though. Alright, so this is what I'm using, VCDS by Rostec. It plugs into the laptop with USB, and I use their software to scan the car. So I'm going to quickly go plug this in, and we're going to see what the car has to say. Alright, let's take a look here. I think it was under this one. Nope, that wasn't that one. Okay, so there it is, P0303, cylinder 3, but it was 304 earlier, so it was moved over to the cylinder 3 when I moved the coil to the one cylinder to the next. Now this is because I had the box open, the air box, so once I close it all up and everything, that one will go away too. But I just had the car running like that just so I can see if this switched to cylinder 3, in which it did. So we went ahead and got the new coil pack, and all I had to do was take a look at there's a current DTCs, which are the codes I can look at. These are the pending ones that are ongoing right now. I can clear it if I need to. And there's a lot of other stuff I could do with this software, but I won't go into that right now. So welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and do the job and fix this back coil. Oh, and I just want to note, there's these little clips right here that you're supposed to pop out to get these out. Unfortunately, on the 2 cylinders that I was working with, they broke on me. Apparently it's a common thing for them to become brittle. Now these plugs are on there like super hard, so I'm not to worry about it popping off when I drive and stuff, but to make sure that it is secure, I am going to have to replace these later on, and we'll look into that when it's time to do the valve covers, since the valve covers are leaking a little bit. And then we can replace all of these depending on if they break or not, because they are pretty tough plastic right now, and I can see why they broke so easily. So let me go ahead and start taking this all apart, and we can start replacing it. Again, it's the 10 millimeter. Okay, so there's the one I just removed. Let's get the new one, make sure it's compatible, it matches. So the one I got, here's the part number. Hopefully it's the right one. I've never heard of this brand, so we'll see how this works. Okay, so here's the new one versus the old one, and it looks identical. But interesting. This one has a what looks like a rubber seal around it, and this one doesn't. Let me see if I can take that off real fast. Maybe I can salvage that. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I just used something pointy, and it came right off. Now, gasket's not the ideal shape, but I flipped it over. It should still have a little bit of life left in it, like so. Okay. Let's put this puppy in. Ah, mismatch. Before I tighten the other one, I go ahead and put the other one in, make sure I can get that in. Okay, just make it somewhat tight, not too tight. Go. And let's put this puppy back in. Okay, as far as it goes, I'll make sure the other one is a little snug since I removed it. There we go. Okay, so the new one's in. I think I'm pretty confident that this is going to work, so I'm going to go ahead and button all this up. If not, oh well. It's not too difficult to take all this stuff off, so it's no biggie. So let's go ahead and put the air box back in. And well, first I got to put this plate in. I'm going to be gentle with this line there so it doesn't break on me again. And you ask, why is this here? Because this is where the cover sits, and it holds the cover apparently. Wow, okay. Let's Does it really do anything? I don't have a clue. It looks pretty though. Alright, so now it's on. Now we're going to go ahead and put the air filter in. Okay, I went with a really cheap one for now. I know this won't last long and it's not the greatest thing, but it's a quick replacement for the other thing. It's a MicroGuard MGA 42295, and we'll go ahead and put that in. Make sure it's nice and snug. Okay. All right, let's get the cover. Okay, so this line that I keep breaking, gotta make sure it doesn't break again. The hose on the side screws in. Like that. I'm gonna put this hose in. Maybe I should put that in first. Might have been a little easier. Okay, it's in. Okay, it wasn't too bad. And put this clamp on. And then I also loosened this clamp, but didn't have to. Let me just turn it a little bit so you can see. So I put this in. Here's the clamp. I also loosened this clamp, didn't need to. Oops. Okay, so that's good to go. Mass sensor. Put that in. Just like that. And I go ahead and tighten these puppies up. Yes, I'm using slot. It's not the greatest tool for this, but I didn't want to hunt for the socket for this. Okay, I think it's just about tight. Okay, that's good enough. Don't want to make it too tight. Okay, double check, make sure it's all sealed in there. Okay. So we don't want to get water in there. Okay, it's on there pretty tight. Let's go ahead and secure the air box. This guy right here has these clips that are kind of annoying. And one more if I can find it. And I can't find it. Crap. Oh, there it is. There we go. Now, this guy right here, making a ticking sound. I thought it was the something that was going on in here, and then I put my ear up against this, and it was actually this guy. Some sort of valve. I need to find a replacement for this, so I'll be doing that pretty soon too. This is something else that's been making a little bit of noise, and I don't know if it's because it's broken or it's just not doing what it's supposed to do, but since it's making so much noise, I'm gonna go ahead and replace it anyways. And this rubber is broken, so I'll just throw it on there like that. Now I'm not gonna worry about the rest of this yet. We're gonna try the car out and see if it misfires. Welcome back to inside the car. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this guy in neutral. That's something else I need to address. So if anybody knows how to solder one of these on, let me know. I like to try to solder a new one on there. Be a little cheaper. Okay, so the car's now on. And there's no engine light. The idle is smooth. So it looks like we got it. Let's take a look at the computer. Ugh. Okay. See if there's anything current. Okay, so that airflow one disappeared, but this one's still there. I'm gonna go ahead and clear them. Okay. Okay. And the fact that it's not coming up under current, I think we're good. And the car's idling really nice and smooth. So looks like we fixed the problem. So we fixed the problem. And so it confirms that it was just the coil. We also replaced the air filter, so that should help with the engine breathing a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of the bits. I don't think you guys are interested in seeing all that. But yeah, we're on our way to the next thing. I ordered 2 more parts. I ordered the cup holder, and I also ordered the mirror. As you remember, the mirror was kind of yellowish and faded and stuff. So I got a replacement mirror. Now I didn't buy the whole mirror, I just actually bought the mirror piece by itself. So we're gonna figure out how to replace just that bit. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be easy, but we'll figure it out. I'm sure there's something I'll be able to find online on how to do it, and then I'll be able to show it to you guys. So, and the cup holder, well, that's gonna be just a matter of taking a bit or two off the dashboard to replace that. We'll walk through that, and we'll show you how to do that. So this is it. My name is Rob. Go ahead, subscribe, like. I'm also on Instagram. I also put some interesting cars on there once in a while that I find. I think the last car I put on there was a Metropolitan. So I'm always on the lookout for interesting cars. There's another car down the street. I'm going to be taking a picture of that. I'll post that later. And I think you will like it. Discontinued brand. This is a hint for that one. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to email me. My email address is at the bottom. And I will see you later. Bye.